Heading out of town on spring break? Well, as cases of measles continue to rise, doctors want you to be protected before you go.
As long as I don't look at it, I don't get upset.
A business owner still dealing with the aftermath of that massive explosion in Clinton Township.
A 15-year-old honored for heroic actions, what he did to help save a life.
Working for you. Fox 2 News at 5 starts now.
A Wayne woman accused of killing her 8-year-old daughter claims a spirit made her do it.
And today, a judge charged 30-year-old Chelsea Duperon with felony murder and first-degree child abuse for the death of her daughter, Lila. Disturbing details came out during Duperon's arraignment. On Saturday, officers were called to their Wayne home on Phyllis Street because the child wasn't breathing. When they arrived, police say the child was found in a bedroom unresponsive with severe injuries to her head and neck. The mother's boyfriend told officers Chelsea beat her daughter because she believed she was possessed by a demon.
The sheer brutality that innocent 8-year-old Lila suffered on March 13th of 2024 is really like nothing I've ever seen in my 5 years of handling child abuse cases. What she endured is unfathomable. The massive amount of swelling to her head and her face, she was completely unrecognizable. I cannot even describe to you how heinous these pictures were and how much they truly affected me. To the community is her now.
Attorneys have asked to have the mother's mental health evaluated. Fox News' Amy Lang covered today's arraignment, and we'll have much more on this case tonight at 6.
Well, the Wrongway driver is behind bars for allegedly driving drunk, crashing into a family's vehicle head-on and killing one woman in Southgate. 30-year-old Alyssa Taylor Usher of Riverview charged with operating while intoxicated, causing death. The crash happened Saturday night on Allen Road. Police say a 44-year-old woman was killed right away. Another woman who was 8 weeks pregnant also lost her baby in the crash. 3 others, including a 3-year-old, were also hurt. Taylor was given a $1 million cash surety bond. Her next court date is scheduled for March 28th.
The CDC is issuing a new health alert to doctors as the U.S. sees a rise in cases of measles.
The highly contagious virus was once eliminated in our country. Fox 2's Ingrid Kelly tells us what's behind the recent resurgence.
As cases of measles continue to rise, travel agents like David Fishman continue to monitor CDC warnings and locations of outbreaks to keep clients safe.
I mean, we actually have another group of people in the Bahamas, which has been a concern in some levels in regards to the State Department. And there's been no problems. They're down there now, no problems at all. It's been very safe. It's been really away from the tourist areas and hasn't really affected tourism.
Zooming from Prague in the Czech Republic, Fishman says the rise in cases of measles has not caused clients to cancel or alter spring break or summer vacation plans.
But it hasn't stopped people from traveling. And if you're vaccinated, the odds are very, very low of contracting it.
And medical professionals say vaccination is the key to staying safe.
Once you receive the first dose of measles immunization, you're 93% protected. Once you get the second, which is the booster, you're 97% protected against this disease.
According to the CDC, as of March 14th, a total of 58 measles cases were reported by 17 states, including Michigan, and hotspots like Florida, where many go for spring break. But doctors maintain the increase in cases stem from travel overseas.
Most of the cases are related to international travel, and it's occurring in people who are unvaccinated.
Measles is a viral infection that can cause a rash, runny nose, and even a fever. And doctors say it's more contagious than COVID.
This virus is highly contagious. Like, it's that contagious that if a person is in the plane and has that virus, about 90% people around them can get infected.
Corewell Health Dearborn has already been impacted by this measles outbreak.
There was one case of an adult who had traveled internationally, and that was confirmed. There were exposed people in the emergency room that were contacted and were given the protection, vaccination, and immunoglobulin to protect them.
Whether you plan to travel or not, getting vaccinated not only keeps you safe, but others as well.
In a community, if 95% people are immunized, they create a phenomenon called herd immunity, which is that you're not letting the virus come into that community.
And doctors say because this viral infection is so highly contagious, wearing a mask in crowded places could help, but the vaccine is your best protection.
There's a lot of controversy about measles vaccines in the past, but it's a very safe vaccine and it's a very effective vaccine.
In Southfield, Ingrid Kelly, Fox 2 News.
Well, nearby businesses are still cleaning up after the explosions and fire that rocked Clinton Township 2 weeks ago.
Fox 2's Camila Mary spoke to one owner about the damage he's dealing with and how the investigation's delay is impacting his business.
Frustrating to have to deal with 500 holes in your roof, water coming in, the penetration, having to clean up after what somebody else caused.
More than 2 weeks later, Bob Hindman, owner of American Graphics Printing Company, still dealing with the aftermath of that massive explosion at GU and Select Distributors in Clinton Township.
We're trying to deal with it like nothing happened, put on our happy face, but it has been a little lull in our business. Probably people thinking that we're still trying to dig out from underneath the rubble. The
rubble all collected and in one giant pile. The remnants of thousands of butane and nitrous oxide canisters that were once stored at the now destroyed warehouse at 15 Mile and Grossbeck.
We did have 2 storage trailers in the back, one with scrap paper, the other one with used equipment or equipment that we were storing. And that took a lot of those canisters that potentially could have started a fire or penetrated the facility and stopped them.
Tuesday, investigators on scene, while a formal investigation is expected to begin early next month. And even though his business is right next to GU, Bob says he knew nothing about the company until now.
I'm not a vapor. I'm not into that. I didn't know what GU meant, but GU be gone.
In Clinton Township, Camila Mary, Fox 2 News.
Today the weather was anything but pleasant. It was tough. It just felt like we were back in December for a minute, but at least a break, I guess, from the wet weather.
Yeah, it was blustery out there, too. The wind was was whipping out there. Let's see what the rest of our evening looks like. Our friend Stephanie Mead here with a look at our forecast. Stephanie, some relief in sight?
Maybe just a little bit just in terms of wind conditions, but I think we will remain cold tomorrow and even in potentially Thursday. We finally start to see things turning around next week, and we'll get to that in the full forecast here in about 20 minutes or so. Otherwise, we're in the upper 40s right now, so even though our air temps are where we should be for this time of year, it just doesn't feel like it because you're factoring in those gusty winds. 45 out near parts of Howell, 43 in Pontiac, 47 in the metro right now. And these are the winds sustained anywhere between 15, 20 miles per hour gusts around that 30 mile per hour mark. So that's most certainly dragging down those feel like temps for a lot of us in the mid to upper 30s. So that is why it is so cold outside. We are steering clear of the snow, though. They are tracking a little bit further east of us over parts of Canada. And that's going to stay that way, I think, through the overnight. Not until tomorrow where we see our next chance for a few snow showers. Otherwise, low temperatures tonight will bottom out in the upper 20s. We do see relief in sight as we head through next week, but we have to get past our next snow system by the end of the week. We'll have timing on that in the forecast here in just a few. Roop and Taryn.
All right, Stephanie, thank you. A 15-year-old Detroit student helped save his neighbor's life during an emergency.
And now the young hero is being honored for his courageous act. Fox 2's Scott Wolchek with more now from his proud family.
He's a leader as a young man, and he's a treasure to have.
He's 15-year-old Gregory Pope III. Some say he's a hero, but he feels like he just did the right thing at the right time.
I just feel like a regular person that just did a good deed, It's really nothing.
This humble Henry Ford high schooler awarded the Spirit of Detroit Award for saving a man named John Lee back in January who was having a medical emergency. Gregory was inside his house playing video games when he heard his neighbors calling for help. He rushed out the door, saw Mr. Lee, helped him out of the vehicle, and began performing CPR.
When it all happened, I froze up, and I couldn't do nothing, and he looked dead me in my eyes and said, "Pops, I got it." I looked at him and I said, "Let's go." Nobody basically knew how to really do CPR, so I had just did what I know, did CPR, and I'm just glad I helped him as I could.
He helped save a life, and he's actually never taken a CPR class.
We got back in the house, and I was like, "Son, where did you get that from?" And he was like, "Dad, I got it from a TV show."
Guess you can learn a lot from TV, but what's no surprise, Gregory always looks out for others.
That's what I know Greg to do. Like, he's so caring, he's so thoughtful, he's selfless.
What's next for Gregory Pope III? He hopes to become a D1 athlete. He loves football, runs track, and plays basketball. Schools he's thinking about:
Alabama, LSU, and UVM.
On Detroit's West Side, Scott Walchek, Fox 2 News.